deeply honored to share this space with you all and be a part of this 22nd annual American Patriot Awards dinner. Every year when I come to this event, I'm floored by the incredible concentration of dedicated and patriotic people in this room with me every year, and tonight is no exception.
Eternal and ever faithful God, we who have worn the uniforms of this nation and others who have dedicated themselves to supporting our armed forces, give thanks for all who have served and fought to procure that right and so many others of a free nation. We ask that well beyond this night, they may know that their leadership, sacrifice, and dedication inspire us to do more for others as well.
It's my honor this evening to introduce our guest speaker, Vice Admiral Blake Converse, Deputy Commander, United States Pacific Fleet.
It's an honor to join the Navy League's American Patriot Dinner as we recognize a longtime friend, retired Rear Admiral Pete Gumatautau, and the venerable Louis family as American Patriots tonight. Before I get to the honorees, though, I'd like to thank the Honolulu Council of the Navy League of the United States. The Navy League is firmly committed to ensuring the morale of our sailors and our families, for educating the public about the importance of our sea services, and introducing young people to the value of the uniformed services. Next month, the Navy is going to celebrate our 250th birthday. That's a milestone for our nation, and we should be immensely proud of that. The Navy's Pacific Fleet mission is both to deter conflict and maintain those open sea lines of commerce. And our posture across the theater, where 60% of our Navy force is located, every single day reflects those two critical missions. We stand and serve side by side with the people of Hawaii to build the relationships across the Pacific, to build trust, and defend our national interests. And that common cause brings me now to our honorees for this evening, who stand out for their contributions to the community and to our country. So let's start with a man whose last name in the Chamorro language of Guam means house of the people. He served in many, many critical command positions, and he had a tremendous impact on many naval officers, including this naval officer right here who had the opportunity to serve with him and see his leadership, his dynamism, his engagement, and his infectious attitude in every single thing that he did. Across his Navy career, Pete had many distinguished positions, and he earned a number of very well-deserved awards, far too many for me to enumerate here today. But perhaps I think all of those awards are exemplified by one. He was a recipient of the Admiral Zumwalt Award for visionary leadership, and I think that says a lot. Most people would be happy to retire after all that, but not Pete. In 2018, shortly after leaving active duty, he became the director of the Daniel K. Inouye Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies. They address our most pressing issues in security, and they build key relationships across the Pacific with our allies and partners. Pete served as that director for 6 years and contributed greatly to the freedom, security, and prosperity of the Indo-Pacific. He achieved remarkable growth in professional and personal ties among national security establishments throughout the region. And he left APCSS as a stronger and more effective organization than ever before.
Tonight, we honor Admiral Pete Gumatautau, a son of Guam, a warfighter, a mentor, and to so many in the surface warfare community, the original SWO Daddy. That name carries so much weight because it transcends rank, not just for the commands he held, but for the time and the heart he poured into the next generation. Pete relished mentoring sailors, junior officers, sharing a sea story with a lesson inside and from the world's deepest wheel book. Here's the truth. We have the best ships and the aircraft on the planet, but platforms don't fight wars. People do. And Pete forged leaders with character, grit, and ike pono, doing the right thing. Leaders who carry the strength of our military and the security of our nation.
Aloha, I'm Susie Varislam, the director of the Daniel K. Inouye Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies located here in beautiful Waikiki. And it is an honor and privilege to congratulate sincerely Rear Admiral retired Pete Gumatautau, former director of the Daniel K. Inouye Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies in 2018 to 2024. This award that's being granted by the Navy League is a well-deserved honor. Pete, you are a bridge builder. You have built bridges, not just a bridge on a ship when you were a surface warfare officer, but building bridges, long-term relationships that this center is all about. By being able to have that ability to walk in a room and bring down the tension by your engagement, by your spirit, by your aloha, that whatever baggage people come into the room with, you're able to break down those barriers so that there can be real, genuine discussion.
After 37 years in uniform, Pete couldn't stop serving. For 6 more years as director of the Daniel K. Inouye Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies, he built bonds of trust across the region. He strengthened America's network of alliances and partnerships, our nation's strategic center of gravity. And in doing so, he helped build and preserve a free and open Indo-Pacific. And Pete has always anchored his service in his faith and family. His love for his beloved Dr. Anne Marie and his children, Kailani and PJ, gave him the strength to lead with humility, compassion, and conviction. All of that is the mark of a patriot.
And it's because of you that there have been a lot more agreements and partnerships with countries, alumni who've been produced from here who continue the relationship. This center has 16,000 alumni, and a lot of that has been under your watch here as the director. And those relationships will last a lifetime. Being able to bridge, because you are a son of Guam and a son of the Pacific, you're able to bridge the entire Indo-Pacific with the rest of the United States and the rest of the world. And you do it with strategic vision, you do it with your knowledge and experience, you bring the energy into the room, but more importantly, because you care and it really is from your heart, not just your mind. You care about people, and that comes through in everything that you do. You have left a legacy. You are a model for many others, including myself, to emulate. And I am honored to know you, proud to know you, and so grateful that you are being recognized for this achievement.
Pete Gumatautau has strengthened the cloth of our joint force, fabric of our alliances, and every young leader lucky enough to call him mentor, and a few old leaders like myself who call him mentor. Pete, my dear brother, Bravo Zulu, you've made all of us stronger, better, and our nation safer. May God bless you and family, and mahalo.
First and foremost, I want you to know that I am just so humbly grateful to God for all the blessings in my life. I want to acknowledge that up front. And I am humbly honored for this recognition that I am receiving tonight. But I sincerely want to thank the Honolulu Council, Navy League for this incredible recognition. There's a lot of leadership in the Navy League and all the men and women of the Navy League. Really thank you so much for hosting this event and also for celebrating Patriots year in and year out. And I am very grateful because you not only celebrate the military, but you all celebrate their families. If you are active duty and your families, please stand up just for a moment. Please stand up and remain standing. Please remain standing. And your families, your spouses. 1, 2, 3. Choo! We all stand up, the future, the Sea Cadets. Yeah! 1, 2, 3. Choo! Woo! Thank you. Thank you so much. So the main thought I want to leave with all of you tonight is kind of just a simple phrase, and I hope you reflect on it. It's service, sacrifice, patriotism, and faith are all connected. Let me just say that again. Service, sacrifice, patriotism, and faith are all connected. Growing up in Guam, my mother was in a concentration camp when the Japanese took over. My father was in Pearl Harbor in USS California when they attacked. He was in the Navy. And I want to share with you just one quick anecdote about how I was raised in regards to service to country. I was also an altar server. I'm a good Catholic, right? And so I was serving as an altar server. And during the Vietnam years, sometimes a lot of my uncles and my cousins came home, did not survive. And so when I was there at Mass serving as a young altar server, on the coffin, draped solemnly is the flag of the United States of America. And as an altar server, when I went to the cemetery and the soldiers, the airmen, Marines, sailors folded that flag reverently and presented it to the surviving spouse or family, there were no complaints. There were no blames. They just hugged that flag and nodded. And then, one day, I came home after a funeral. And I was watching the news, black and white. People on the mainland were burning the flag. And remember, I was just a young teenager being influenced by so much. But that flag meant so much to me. And my father, Tata, was sitting right behind me. And I turned to Ta and I said, Ta, what are they doing to the flag? And you know what? My father didn't hesitate. He put his arms on my shoulder and he said, boy, don't you worry about what those people are doing to the flag. Just remember what the flag means to you. My father did not judge. The father respected people's expression, but our father taught us, especially growing up in Guam, what that flag meant to us. And you know what? I said, thank you, Ta. I understand. So that kind of gives you the cut of the jib of me understanding what service is. But let me share you another real life anecdote about patriotism. I remember one day while serving as the Commander, Naval Surface Force Atlantic, I walked into the quarterdeck of my headquarters in Norfolk, and I saw families gathered there. And they were gathered after a video teleconference, a VTC, with a deployed cruiser. Something was different from what I had experienced on the other end of a VTC when I used to be deployed. And we used to VTC in halfway through the deployment with our families. You see, I was all like tickle pink, right? I was all happy to see my family. I was all pumped up to go back to watch or whatever, but I wasn't ready for this. What greeted me at the headquarters, there was no excitement. There was no chatter. There was just tears, but quiet tears. And in the corner, two little kids clung tightly to their mom, and I didn't know what to say. I simply walked over there and put my arms around them and whispered, thank you for your service to our country. So my dear friends, my dear patriots in this room, the sacrifice of service is not just borne by those in uniform. It's carried by spouses, by children, by parents, by neighbors, by families who wait, who worry, who pray. Patriotism lives in those quiet tears, in the strength of those who hold the home front. Service, sacrifice, patriotism, connected. And at this moment, I am so grateful to all of you for reminding us that patriotism is not a word. It is a solemn commitment. Patriotism is not loud. It's found in the quiet devotion of families, in the steady work of volunteers, in the diligence and professionalism of our military, and in the hands of those who reach out to those that are forgotten. So you remember that message. Service, sacrifice, patriotism, and faith are all connected. So tonight, I humbly accept this award not for myself, but for all who serve, military and civilian, past and present, seen and unseen. I accept it for the families who served alongside me, my family, my beautiful wife Anne-Marie of nearly 40 years, and my daughter Kai and Peter. I accept it for those 2 children and their mom on the quarterdeck of Surface Forces Atlantic. May we never take the freedoms we enjoy for granted. May we never forget the cost of these freedoms. And may we always strive to be patriots, not just in words, but in deeds. Mahalo nui loa, thank you so much again for this recognition. May God bless you. May God bless the Navy League. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you so very much.
Fred and Alice Louie founded Pacific Refrigeration, which was later renamed Pacific Marine in 1944, with a mission statement focused on giving back to the community. They started by servicing U.S. Navy ships during World War II. Over the years, Pacific Marine has spun off to more than 20 unique companies. And today they employ over 1,000 people nationwide. This vast enterprise contributes to a vibrant and diverse economy for the state of Hawaii, including supporting our largest private shipyard. And for the Louie family, it's not been about making money, it's about providing jobs, providing for the future, and providing for the community. Stephen once said, when you have good fortune, it's an obligation to share it with those that are less fortunate. The Louie family has certainly done that while maintaining their edge as a driver of innovation in Hawaii. They supported many causes over the years, ranging from local community initiatives to business, leadership, innovation, service to community, and service to country, for what makes the whole Louie family American patriots.
I am very happy to have been asked to say a few words about the Louie family, since I've known them since I've been a teenager, working around the shipyard at Pier 1314 with Pacific Marine. Ship repair became a very big item after the end of the war, because no one was around except the former Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard workers, and of which Fred Louie was one of them as a refrigeration expert. And so he started Pacific Marine and Central Pacific Shipping, if I'm not mistaken.
Aloha, my name is Bill Clifford, and I am honored to have the opportunity to say a few words tonight about the Louie family and its many contributions as American patriots. Although I never met Fred Louie, who founded Pacific Marine in 1944 when World War II was raging, I feel that I know him as the culture, work ethic, and integrity. The principles he built the company on stand firmly today under the leadership of Stephen Louie and the entire Louie family. Fred Louie worked at Pearl Harbor on submarines as a refrigeration supervisor, but in the typical true Louie entrepreneurial spirit, He left in 1944 and started a private sector ship repair company supporting our military assets in the midst of the war. He ran that company for 25 years until his untimely death in 1969. His wife Alice, who recently celebrated her 104th birthday, held the company together until Stephen graduated from Stanford and assumed the leadership role in 1972 and still does today.
One of the drawbacks with doing ship repair was they were all small work. There were no dry docks within Honolulu Harbor. Fred Louie started a program to say that maybe the state should build and own one. Well, he was never able to complete that desire before he passed away. That was left to his son, Steve. Steve set on the path of getting a dry dock, and he was very successful in doing that by building the dry dock called the Kekalana.
What Stephen and the entire Louie family embrace are patriotism, uncompromising ethics, and employee recognition. A family that contributes to the local community, our national defense, and most importantly, the well-being of our employees and their families. Fred Louie started Pacific Marine as a shipyard, but Stephen over the years diversified the company, launching many significant ventures, but right now, growing today's shipyard, PSI of Pier 24, into Hawaii's largest private sector, fully facilitized shipyard, very successfully, and they support the entire Hawaii maritime community of tugs, barges, commercial ships, and of course, the pride of America. That is the core, but Stephen's passion for high-tech ship design and construction has put Pacific Marine and its R&D company, Pacmar Tech, known as PMT, at the tip of the spear in innovative, patented hull designs featuring high-speed, stable platforms, variable payload, and now including autonomous vessels and many other unique projects.
If you were employed by the Louie family in any one of the myriad of companies that Steve had started, you became part of the family. If I said that some of the employees were there for 30, 40 years that were hired on by Stephen, that would not be abnormal. But it's a family-run company, including the extended family.
In closing, I truly believe that this recognition, the American Patriot Award, could not be more fitting or more well-deserved by the Louie family, who have truly been American patriots for the last 81 years, and I am honored, like all the valued employees, to be a small part of such a great family. Thank you.
I have been very blessed in working with the family over the years, and I want to extend my best wishes and congratulations to them for winning the Navy League's American Patriot Award this year. They epitomize the family-owned businesses in Hawaii that emerged after the war. And through hard times, they were able to survive by being innovative. And that's the key to the family's success here. And I am very thankful to have been associated with them through all these years.
On behalf of Louie Ohana, we appreciate and thank the Navy League for bestowing upon us this great honor. When I first heard about the award, I thought it would be a good opportunity to pay tribute to the greatest generation of the Louie family that founded our family business and inspired me and set the values which I believe I've done my best to live and impart upon the next generation. They are the members most deserving of this award. They lived by the founding values they set for the company. So my father was a Pearl Harbor refrigeration supervisor and a critical defense worker during the war. He told me stories of the hard, long hours and hard work everyone at Pearl Harbor had to endure to get the ships, but most importantly, the submarines back in service. When I was a boy, people off the street would come up to him and say, "Thank you, Mr. Louie, you fixed my submarine." But the most interesting one was one who came up and said, "Thank you, Mr. Louie, you fixed our ice cream maker." And it wasn't until several years later that I understand the significance of that. My father's younger brother, Uncle Henry, enlisted in the Navy after the war started. and was deployed on the USS battleship Pennsylvania till the end of the war. I said, what'd you do in the war, Uncle? He said, well, we just bombed one island after the other. And he said, we played a lot of poker. He was a great uncle. He was famous for his Henry Louis restaurant. And his claim to fame was that he fired Don Ho. My father's brother-in-law, Uncle Ralph, joined the Army Military Intelligence Corps in 1943. He was deployed to the South Pacific, where he served till the end of the war. And as many of you know, the Army Military Intelligence Corps was sworn to secrecy for life. So whenever we asked Uncle, what did you do during the war? He said, we drank a lot of beer and played a lot of poker. Missing in the picture was my father's youngest brother, Uncle Herbert. He was commissioned a Marine lieutenant after attending officer candidate school in Quantico. He fought in the Korean War. He was in artillery, and he wouldn't tell us what he did, but I'm sure they were harrowing experiences the many years he served. Many of us extended Louis Ohana, including employees, friends, and our business network, are also descendants of the greatest generation. My friends and employees, when we get together, they talk about how their fathers served in the 442nd, 100th Battalion, the Army, the Air Force. I think that's important in what set the corporate culture for the company, this service above self. This greatest generation really set an example for us to follow, a very high standard. They infuse in all of us their convictions to duty, personal courage, and compassion. Pacific Marine celebrates its 81st anniversary this year, and it was built on these values of integrity and hard work. So many of the employees who are here tonight know that, we consider that a gold standard in performance, and we don't take anything less. The greater Louis Ohana, which includes our employees, our trusted advisors, consultants, business network, we're nurturing these values, and I see it as a goal for the company and to be our legacy is to pass this on for the generations to come. Thank you.
Would all of the current and past Honolulu Navy League board members, officers, and presidents present tonight please join me up here on the stage? I have this award because the past presidents of the Honolulu Navy League, acting in secret, have broken with tradition and elected a third American Patriot awardee this year. Midshipmen, escort our third American Patriot awardee to the stage, Mrs. Navy League Jane Ferreira. Those who know Jane personally know her lifelong patriotism. Jane assumed the executive director of the Honolulu Navy League in January of 2016 and will serve until January of 2026. I cannot imagine that the board of directors in 2016 knew what they were getting into when they hired her. But I thank them for their wise and fortuitous choice. Jane is a dynamo, a force of nature, unstoppable, and nowhere will you find anyone more dedicated to our sailors, guardsmen, and Marines than she is. From seaman recruits to admirals, privates to generals, all hail by her title of Navy League Jane. She sees every ship off and greets them upon their return home from deployment. She hosts the spouses while the ships are gone. She hosts their children and their youth groups. She cares for them in ways that cannot be adequately expressed by any of us up here. The Chief Petty Officers can, however. The Chief Petty Officers of both the United States Coast Guard and the United States Navy have each already recognized her as one of their own, bestowing upon her one of the highest honors of the Maritime Service, Honorary Chief Petty Officer of not only the Coast Guard, but Honorary Chief Petty Officer of the Navy as well. It is with the deepest respect that we who have served under your leadership present you, Navy League Jane, with the 2025 American Patriot Award.
Our mission is so great. As you heard from Jeff earlier, our mission is to advocate, educate, and support. And that is the very being for me. That's why it's not hard for me to do this mission. It's very easy every morning to get up and do that because we need to advocate for those who serve. We need to advocate for stronger and safer seas and talk to the Hill about why that's important. And then we celebrate and support our active duty every day, from doing our Sailors and Coasties of the Quarter and the annual events to having the Ombudsman FRGs have their meeting in their office. Many times I get a call and say, hey, Jane, can you facilitate an emergency meeting tomorrow afternoon? Absolutely, because there's stuff going on in some part of the world that families needs to know about, but we want to deliver it in such a way that it's tolerable for them. And I am so blessed that I have Gina Culbertson, who is here with me tonight, who's my staff member, and I have lived my Navy life through her. And that's what it's all about. It's like we serve those who serve. That's what the Navy League does. And that's why I'm so blessed here with all of you here as partners to support the Navy League, because you're all here tonight supporting everything the Navy League does to support those who serve. Thank you very much. It's what it's all about, is serving those who serve, and everything the Navy League does is that every day. We advocate, educate, support. So thank you so much for being here tonight, because you're a part of that success of helping us deliver on our promise to serve those who serve. Thank you so much. I'm so honored.
The recurring themes through all of our awardees tonight. What was it, Admiral Gumatata? Service, sacrifice, patriotism, and faith. And family values, right? We heard that from all of our awardees. So thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you next year. Aloha.